y'all, my name's Maddie and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my very first video, so I'm super excited. It's been taking me a minute to make my YouTube channel. I have so many different interests, so I didn't really know how to start my YouTube channel initially, but I decided to just do a getting to know me Q&A, specifically around mental health. I posted a story on my Instagram asking you guys to ask me questions that you have just for me in general, and then also for mental health. I've been trying to bring more awareness on my stories because I personally suffer from a mental struggle, and so I've been getting a lot more people reaching out to me about it, which definitely makes me feel good. I'm happy that you guys are comfortable coming to talk to me about those types of things. So with that being said, we will get into this Q&A. I'm going to be reading the questions off my laptop because I'm filming on my phone. We're just gonna ignore this is unprofessional, but you know, we're just starting out. So my first question is, what mental health issues do you currently suffer from? So I was diagnosed with anxiety about a little over a year ago. I think that I've had social anxiety just about my whole life. If you knew me growing up, I was super shy into myself. Around friends and family, obviously my personality would come out. I was super loud and talkative, but in social settings, super quiet into myself. It definitely got pretty bad sometimes. I used to get hot flashes. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about, but I would sweat like excessively, just randomly whenever I had an anxiety attack, which at, that point in my life was like just about every day. And it was so embarrassing, and it made me not want to go to certain places or do certain things. So I was so frustrated because I was like, why am I like sweating right now? Like, I'm not even upset. Like, I'm just so annoyed, like, why is this happening to me? And social anxiety. So yeah, I went to see a doctor a little bit over a year ago. They told me I have anxiety. I was put on medication, and yeah, your girl has anxiety, but we're pushing through it. So, but the next question is, what has been something useful to combat your mental health issues? So this question, I'm gonna answer it for me, but it can be different for different people. But for me, like I said earlier, I was put on medication to help level out my moods. I stopped taking it just because for me, I don't really like to be on medication, and also I felt like I just didn't care in general, which sounds nice, but just to go about life, like I want to have emotions and not really feel like a zombie. So I stopped taking mine, but I would definitely say there's so many different things that you can do. I follow a lot of different mental health accounts on Instagram, which I definitely would say, if you are really like a lot on Instagram, to manage your feed and make sure that you're following people that are providing information for you. Because for me, I know I had no knowledge on mental health or anything when I was initially going through this. So I definitely would say finding resources. There's so much online that you can look up and find to give you tips, and just also like community so you don't feel alone. But I definitely would say like resources, like finding things on Instagram or Twitter, whatever social media platform it is. Journaling. I know that sounds like, ew, why would I journal? But it helps a lot, especially if you're someone who doesn't really like talking to people, or you don't always want to tell your feelings. Writing it down. You need to get it out, because holding things in just makes it 10 times worse. So I would say journaling. Walking. That also sounds like, okay, like what is going on a walk gonna do? If you know me, there's this trail by my house that I'm constantly on. I love walking. And that sounds kind of dumb at first, but I'm telling you, just walking in nature, like, you don't really need to be on your phone. Play some music. It'll really clear your mind. Reading, meditating, practicing mindfulness. I actually was in a mindfulness class, and so we literally would meditate. And initially I was like, this is so dumb. But now thinking about it, I'm like, thank God I had this class, because it's helped me learn ways to put my mind at ease. So for me, I like to walk, I like to journal, I listen to music, I like to go sit outside in nature. I also adopted a cat as well. So for me, I read a lot about how people with mental health, it's really good for them to get some type of pet, so that, there's obviously going to be times where you feel really low and don't want to get out of the house or do anything. So having something to take care of, where like you're kind of forced to get out of bed, it can be really helpful. I know for me, there would be days that I was just like, ugh, like I just want to lay in bed all day, but I knew like I had to feed my cat, or he would come up to me and be like, play with me. So it was there's definitely a lot of different ways to help you get out of like that funk that you're in whenever you're having a really tough time with your mental health. So the next question is, what's your zodiac sign? I am a Leo, the best. But yeah, no, I'm not like super duper into zodiacs. I don't really believe in them all the way, but I do like to compare and contrast similarities with mine, because I definitely would think that I think I come across pretty confident and just like extra and super outgoing, but with that also comes a lot of insecurities, and that's like a big thing for Leos, that they come off super confident but they're also super insecure. I know for me, I definitely dealt with having to let go of that whole concept of caring about what people think of you. And also, like, I'm just like my biggest critic. Oh my God, can I speak? I don't know. But so yeah, I am a Leo. And my next question is, what made you choose UT? I initially decided to come to UT to play soccer, so that was like my main reason. But I'm also from Dallas, so Texas is like an amazing school. If you're from Texas, like, that is just the place to be. So I love Austin. The city is absolutely amazing. It's super outdoorsy, but also has a city as well, so there's just so much to do. The academics are amazing, and yeah, I love it. So my next question is, what are you most passionate about? Like I said in the beginning of this video, this is why it took me so long to even start a YouTube channel, because I have so many different interests. It's actually really annoying. But I'm super into fashion and beauty. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I shop like it's actually kind of bad. But I love fashion and beauty. I love mental health, obviously. I suffer from a mental illness, so mental health is something super important to me. And I know that for me, when I was going through like a really tough time, I didn't really have any resources. I didn't have anyone to talk to. And I also didn't have anybody on social media, bringing awareness. And so I know, like, I didn't have that. So I want to be able to bring that to other people. And I also would say, like, I'm also a great baker. I love photography. So I have all these different things that I'm really passionate about. And so I've been trying to figure out how to combine mental health and my fashion and beauty. So stay tuned. But yeah, I think those are the things I'm like the most passionate about. So my next question is, are you single/looking? I wasn't gonna answer this initially just because, like, get out of my business. But I was like, I just felt like I had a little bit of information or insight on this topic. Yes, I'm currently single. I wouldn't say I'm looking, just because during quarantine, I feel like, at least for me, it was a super enlightening time. I was to myself a lot, so I really was exploring myself and figuring out like what I'm good at and things that I'm interested in, and really realizing that like I need to love myself. I definitely struggled a lot in college, figuring out how to love myself, and that sounds so basic, but it's hard. It's hard to love yourself, especially when you don't feel like you're good enough. And so for me, I definitely will use the past few months to just figure out what about me makes me unique and just loving myself. So I would say that I am single, yes. I'm not looking, but if the right man comes along, hit me up. My next question is, what are your future plans? So right now there's like a big question mark by that, because I don't really know. Like I said, I have a lot of interests. What I'm trying to do right now is figure out how to incorporate mental health with fashion and beauty. Still trying to figure it out. Hopefully, I'll start my own business or something. We'll see, but still trying to figure that out. It's a little complicated with Corona and everything. I feel like life has been put on hold because of that. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how to combine the two. I'm currently majoring in health and society with a minor in educational psychology. So my initial route I wanted to take was to be a counselor. I didn't really know what kind of counseling I wanted to do, but I've also had a counselor in the past, helped me a tremendous amount, and so I wanted to be able to do the same. But yeah, I definitely still want to incorporate fashion into my life, so still trying to figure out all of the ins and outs, but when everything's figured out, you will know. Okay, so my next question is, What is something about yourself that would surprise people? Honestly, y'all don't know me, so there's a ton of things, but this, if you know me, don't come for me because I do this a lot, I know, but I can talk with my mouth closed, and I don't think I know anyone else who can do it, so I guess that's what I'll do on YouTube. Please don't come for me, but okay. Hopefully y'all can hear me, because if not, this is just embarrassing, but okay. All right.
Daddy, I'm stuck in the closet and I can't get out. Daddy, please help me.
I know y'all heard that. I know y'all heard that. Period. That's all I gotta say. Okay, so my next question is, what are your thoughts on the effects of sports on mental health? So this is funny because I'm actually writing a research paper right now about that for one of my classes. So I'll be able to give y'all more scientific information about this topic later on. But right now, I definitely would say that I think that exercise and sports can definitely benefit your mental health, as long as, you know, it's in a healthy environment and it doesn't consume your life. I think that it's super easy, especially in today's society, for sports and that whole environment to just take over your life. And I think, like I said, when you're doing it in moderation, it can help your mental health. It's a great way to release stress and emotions. But I know firsthand that if you're put in a toxic environment and also the stress of sports on top of that, it can really, you know, damage your mental health or cause you to have mental health issues. So I think as long as you have a balance, it can definitely help benefit your mental health. My next question is, how have you been able to deal with your mental health struggles? So like I said earlier, there's so many different routes you can take to help. You know, you can take medication, you can go see a therapist. There's a lot of natural ways as well. But like I said, journaling, walking, practicing mindfulness, just honestly even turning off your phone. I know that can be kind of hard in today's society to just turn off your phone and just disconnect. I live by myself, so it's kind of easy for me to say that because I live by myself, so I can take a lot of time. But definitely taking the time to just remove yourself from everyone else, really reflect on your thoughts, whether it's, you know, saying it out loud, talking to yourself, writing in a journal, whatever it is that you need to do, getting those emotions and feelings out, talking to somebody. It's definitely a great way. I know I'm very comfortable and blessed to be able to talk to my friends about my struggles. So I definitely would say reaching out to someone, finding resources, taking walks, journaling, whatever it is that you think will help calm your mind is definitely a good thing to do. So my next question is, how do you start a convo about mental health with friends? So I think this can be tricky depending on, you know, the situation that you have with your friend, how serious it is, or if it's something that you think needs to be addressed for their safety. But just generally speaking, I think just checking in on your friends, because life is fast and we just get so caught up and we don't even ask our friends, like, how are they? Like, how are you doing? And I think just initially just asking the question, how are you? Like, how are you doing? What can I do to help you? You know, I think just those statements, like, initially can help start a conversation. Because a lot of the people who do have mental health issues, it's really hard for us to express it or go to someone and say something because we don't want to feel like, oh, like they're complaining or they're just want to have a pity party type thing. So I know in my head, I definitely felt like that so many times. That's why I didn't want to speak up. But, you know, your friends should care, your family should care, the people in your life should care about your feelings and your health. So don't be scared to reach out to people. You can reach out to me if you want. I'm fine. I'm here to talk. So definitely just reach out to people. And if you are someone who wants to reach out to someone else, I definitely would say just initially starting off with just saying, how are you? What are you doing? And like, how can I help you? Next question is, what is your biggest lesson that you learned from 2020? I learned so much about myself this past year. Like, I literally got a tattoo on my leg that means like spiritual awakening, a change in your heart and mind, because I literally felt like at least the past few months for me has just been so enlightening. So I would say my biggest lesson would be to literally just stop caring about what people think about you. And I know that sounds so cliche and just kind of like, whatever, like we already were told that, but I've always been told that, and I've always like not cared what people thought about me, but deep down I've always cared. I honestly, to this day, it's something I still work with. I still definitely care. But I would say to try to understand and realize that it's your life. It is your life at the end of the day. And it doesn't matter if you are the nicest person or the meanest person. People are going to talk about you regardless. And that's definitely something that I had to learn, is that no matter like how I was treating somebody or how well I thought I was treating somebody, or if I thought I was being a nice person, people were going to talk about me regardless if I did something to them or not. If I was happy or sad, they're still going to talk about you. So with that being said, it's your life and people are going to talk about you regardless. So just do what you want. Do what makes you happy. Because like I said, at the end of the day, people are going to talk about you regardless. So do you, do what makes you happy, and you'll be happy. So, okay, so the next question is, why are you no longer on the soccer team at Texas? And I saved this one for last. This is the last question, because I got this question, first of all, so many times. I knew that this was going to be the most asked question anyways, just because soccer has been something that was like my identity for my whole life. And I recently quit, and I never posted anything or really said anything. And I think a lot of people were just confused and were like, what is going on? Like, she quit? Like, what do you mean she quit? But yes, I did quit the soccer team the last season. So last fall was my last season. Yeah, so I don't want to make this like the focus of the video, because I'm sure a lot of people think that that's what this was going to be about. But I'm way over that situation, so I kind of want to let it go, but I'll tell like a really short version of it. But basically, I came to UT to play soccer. The first 2 years, I wasn't very happy. I thought that initially it was about playing time, because I obviously was competitive and I wasn't seeing the field. So I was upset about it, and I thought that, you know, college sports are hard, they're intense, and like you're not always going to be able to play. So I just thought like this is something that comes with that whole life, so but like I'll be okay. And aside from soccer, I had a lot of other things going on off the field. I was in a really toxic relationship, and I also had some family troubles, so I was going through it the first 2 years. And my sophomore year was like, I hit like rock bottom. I was crying and depressed all the time. Now if people knew that, I don't know, because I'm pretty good at like hiding my emotions and like smiling, and you know, it's so easy to hide behind social media and be like, oh, look at me and my friends, like we're having a good time, which is nice and all, but everyone posts like exciting and perfect photos. No one's showing you when they're crying or 3 a.m. and they're dealing with stuff. So definitely do not look too far into social media, because a lot of things that people post are just not realistic. But for me, I know a lot of people had no idea what I was going through, because I didn't really want to, you know, put attention on me and my issues. And I also was in an environment on the team where it was kind of selfish, I would say, to, I guess you would say, have a bad attitude. But in my head, it was like, have a bad day, have, you know, an issue, have emotions. And it was like, that wasn't really accepted in that environment. So for me, I definitely kept a lot of feelings inside and didn't really talk about it. So that definitely increased my anxiety. And yeah, I was just going through it. My junior year, I ended up starting. So I obviously was super happy, and, you know, I had a great time, and I really thought that playing time was like the central issue for me. Like I was like, okay, so I'm playing now, life's great, like everything's gonna be perfect. And I still hated my life. Like I hated going to practice. I hated everything. And I was like, why do I feel this way? I'm literally like, this is what I wanted to do. I'm starting, like I'm doing this, and I still hate my life. And I remember I would just dread doing anything, literally anything team related. I just hated it. And, you know, I kept a smile on my face, because I was like, you know, I'm blessed to be at this university and have this opportunity, but I hated it, and I hated my life, and I was constantly complaining, constantly being negative. And I remember after my last season, some of me and my friends at the time we're communicating, like, you know, how you are with your friends. Like, when you're going through at the same time, y'all are always, like, complaining together. It's, like, a little negative party, and we were having one of those, and I remember I was like, I'm gonna quit. And they're like, no, you're not. Like, you're not gonna quit. Like, we always say that. And I was like, yeah, we do. As soon as I got off that call, I called my parents, and I was like, I was crying. I laid the whole situation out because they also had no idea. Like I said, super good at keeping a smile on my face and just letting things fester inside. And basically my parents were, you know, sad because we are a sports centered family, and I was kind of like the last person that was playing a sport, and so they were sad to see that era end. But they care so much more about my happiness than that, which I'm super blessed that they were so accepting of my decision to quit. So yeah, after that, I basically went through the process, wow, like I said, I can't talk, the process of quitting. And yeah, as soon as I actually quit, the biggest weight was lifted off my shoulders. Like, I'm not kidding. If you know me, I have been 10 times happier since I made that decision. And I'm not saying that to, like, you know, degrade that program or anything. But for me personally, like, that was just too toxic for me, and it was not good for my mental health. Yeah, and so since then, I haven't had to take medication or anything, which I'm super happy about. I've been super happy. I've been focusing on my future, my interests, learning more about myself and who I am off the field has been super fun and exciting. It initially was pretty scary because, you know, soccer was my identity, so I had to find a new one. And I'm still in the process of, you know, I learn new stuff about myself every day, but it's been an incredible journey, and I'm super duper happy that I made this decision. And so I've actually had a lot of y'all reach out to me regarding that, and some people have, you know, been asking me questions like, how did you know? Like, I'm really going through something right now on my team, and whatever it is, everyone's situation is different, and not everyone is gonna have the same situation as me, and I won't have the same situation as you. But definitely, if you're going through it, I would say to talk to someone. Like I said, you can talk to me or anybody else that you feel close to, and just talk out those feelings and see maybe it is right for you to walk away, or maybe it's a situation where you can push through and, you know, you'll be okay. All right, you guys, so that concludes my little Q&A mental health edition. I had a great time. I really hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say about my mental health struggles, tips I had, and I hope you guys got to know me a little bit better. It was my first video, so I'm super excited for you guys to see this. Like I said earlier, don't be afraid to reach out to me about any questions. If you want to talk about literally anything, I'm here. My Instagram is maddie.dorset, so make sure to go follow me. And also make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.